Yeah, simply ball dropping. What's up, family? K-Sap, we up! Ain't no stopping. I'm simply ball dropping like it's New Year's Eve, making you haters believe I'm the MVP. Ask Mr. V and R&B, they do all sports, whether it's on the field or the court, from the arena to the ring. What? You wanna swing? I rope a dope like the one on this boxing thing. That's a punchline. I'm the greatest of all times. Got something on your mind? Hit us up on the line for that round table talk. Ask B Hunt and Sheena and K-Sap too for their views on our dudes. Marriage Chronicles for you lovers. Oh, I'm married to the game. The championships, the only time I wanna ring. K-Sap, the man behind the mic. Check 1, 2. It ain't a rap until I say it's a rap. Just fall through, pull up the hottest pod smoking. Yeah, I got you open. This freestyle brought to you by James Ford. Paid promotion. Yeah, simply ball dropping. You know what time it is. Pull up, chop it up with your family, man. K-Sap, what up?
And now, your host of the Simply Ball Droppin' Podcast, the man behind the mic, K-Sap. This episode is sponsored by True Choice Insurance. Here at True Choice, we take a different philosophy when it comes to providing you with your insurance options. We emphasize the value of the products we offer, instead of playing on the fear of you not being protected in your time of need. True Choice is affiliated with more than 60 insurance companies. This makes us one of the most independent agencies in the state of Texas. Please visit TrueChoiceInsurance.com for all your insurance needs.
Yo, what's up? This your boy K-Sap, the man behind the mic of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. Not only do we cover sports, we cover hot topics, and also we cover marriages, we cover relationships, and we talk to people that are on the verge of being in a relationship and also the end goal of being married. But today's show, we got to talk about the NBA, and I want to talk about, I don't call it a internet beef. I don't call it a social media beef. I just call it somebody taking exception to what one person had to say about their particular team. I know you guys probably heard recent in the news, the interview that Ja Morant had on Christmas Day. Now, don't get me wrong. Now, I like Ja Morant. I just don't like, his cocky ways. I mean, he's confident in what he does, and he goes out there and backs it up. He's must-see TV. He does a lot of things on the court. He puts a lot of butts in them seats in Memphis, even on the road. He's must-see TV. He's a highlight waiting to happen. And I have no problem with that. But as far as, Ja Morant and the Memphis Grizzlies, they're a little brash. They do a lot of things that a lot of people take exception to. Recent interview on Christmas, Ja sat down with Malika Andrews. And when he sat down with Malika Andrews, this is what Ja Morant had to say.
Who do you look at around the league as you're studying and say, we're going to have to run through them?
Celtics.
No one in the West?
Nah, I'm fine in the West.
This was wild to me.
Now, see, a lot of people took exception to that, the comments that Ja said. Malika Andrews asked him straight up, who do you look to as? And he just went right past the West and said, it's the Celtics, discrediting everybody that's in the West. And my take on that is, Memphis Grizzlies, they go as far as Ja Morant could take them. They follow Ja Morant's lead. Now, ever since Ja Morant been in the league with the Memphis Grizzlies, he's improved every year. He's improved on all facets of his game. When he first came out of Murray State, actually I looked at him as a YouTube sensation. I saw the highlights of the dunks and things like that, but he really never had an outside game. But getting drafted in the NBA and working on his craft, putting a little weight on, and his hops is just through the roof. And every time I look at Ja Morant coming down the court, it's like a highlight waiting to happen. But every year since he's been in the league, he's improved. So kudos to Ja Morant. But Memphis Grizzlies, they do a lot of chirping, man. They do a lot of chirping, and a lot of things are being said, behind closed doors. If you go back and look at the battles last year, when they played Golden State, after game one, he told Steph, it's going to be fun, but I'm here. It's going to be fun. Yeah, it's going to be fun, but sometimes you got to pay homage to the great ones, man. And for him to speak about rivalries, man, how can you be a rivalry, man? And you just got to the Western Conference Finals last year. You got there, and the things that you did when you got there, you was injured. So you really didn't even play the full series against them guys. You know what I'm saying? So it's like for you to say what you said, that it's a rivalry and you looking past everybody in the West. You said that you're good in the West. Man, you guys, y'all let me know your take on that. But my take is, Memphis Grizzlies, they're a good team. They tops in the West. They're the top 2 in the West right now. But if you go back and look at last year when the Memphis Grizzlies was playing and Ja Morant got hurt early in the year and they were still winning. And when Ja Morant came back, a lot of fans was like, boo, they was booing him and everything. But then he turned that around. He got fans on his side. But if you go look in the playoffs when they played Minnesota took him to the brink. And, him and Desmond Bain and Jaren Jackson Jr. and Tillman and, Brandon Clark, all them guys are exceptional players, man. And he makes them guys around him believe that they can win. And it's crazy that a lot of people in the Memphis Grizzlies, man, you got Big Steve Adams, man, so they buying in. So they go as far as Ja is going to take them. But at the same time, that West, there's no clear-cut favorite in the West this year. I mean, people are 2 games from the 4th seed, 3 games from the number 1 seed. You lose a couple, you can drop to the 8th seed. So it's a log jam in there. There's no clear-cut separation. And I look at it like it's some things that can go one way, it could go another way. The ball bounces funny in the NBA. So for that interview to take a left turn like that, for Ja just to disrespect the whole Western Conference, it's kind of crazy. But don't get me wrong. I mean, I like Ja Morant. I like what he stands for. I mean, he puts butts in the seats, and it's crazy that things are it's kind of crazy. It's like, man, Ja, he's exciting, but sometimes he can be a little cocky. But he said early in the year in an interview that he did, his father said, man, you get up under, that's the way he was raised. You get up under somebody's skin and you get the best of them, man. So like I always say, presentation after battle. You go out there, you get up under the skin, and you already won. You go back and look at boxing. When Mike Tyson, back in the days, he intimidated people before he walked in the ring. He never came with a robe, came with a towel, no socks, stuff like that. Black socks, just running down, to the ring, intimidated a lot of folks. So the battle was already won when he got in the ring. So that's how Ja Morant is treating this. He's feeling like the battle was already won. If I'm up under your skin, I got a leg up on you. But this is where I take, a different perspective, what I heard what Shannon Sharpe had to say. So this is what Shannon Sharpe had to say about Ja Morant's comments. Tell me what you think about this.
This shows some context. So take a listen to what he had to say about Ja Morant and the Memphis Grizzlies there. Take a listen to that.
Comments now.
They should be very embarrassed because they do all that talking and don't do a whole lot of winning. Like I said, if Steph Curry had said this, I ain't got no problem with it.
Yeah.
That man's a 4-time champion, a league MVP, a finals MVP, and one of the greatest players I've ever played. If he wants to say, hey, bro, I'm good. We great. We peachy out here in the West. I'm good with that.
Yep.
What has the Grizzlies won? Don't give me this. What's he supposed to say? He's supposed to be respectful of everybody in the Western Conference, considering he hadn't won anything. They keep talking about a dynasty. A dynasty, and what banners have you hung? What have I seen up there?
I agree.
Well, I mean, I don't see the Warriors can say, we are a dynasty.
Mm-hmm.
We won 4 championships in 6 years. That's a dynasty.
Yeah.
Or if you want to say the Celtics or the Lakers, and when they were Magic in the 80s, that was a dynasty.
Yeah.
You ain't no damn dynasty because you made the playoffs.
Mm.
And they keep talking about, oh, we this, we that, oh, we got. I'm like Draymond. Draymond said, I think the word rivalry is thrown around too loosely these days. A rivalry is the Lakers Celtics. A rivalry is us Cavs. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. We're competing. That's a rivalry. Ooh, what's the rivalry between the Grizzlies and the Warriors? One team got 4 championships in 6 years. Yeah. The other team said, we did knock y'all out the playoff, the play-in tournament. What is that? Nothing. So all this, oh, we this, we that, until y'all advance, until y'all get some banners, ain't nobody taking y'all serious. They just like some young dudes just over there chirping.
So you heard
So you heard what Shannon had to say, man. So I agree with what Shannon said. Like he said, it's a bunch of young cats over there chirping. And basically that's what they're doing. So if you go back and look at last year when they, beat Minnesota, running through the locker room, all y'all guys that switched up, y'all stay over there. Y'all not riding with us and stuff like that. You saying that in your own tunnel, going back to your locker room, man. So who was you talking to? Was you talking to your fans? Or you was talking to people in the media or people outside that was, rooting against you guys? Or was you talking to the people that was inside y'all circle, inside that tunnel where you were saying, for all y'all that switched up, man, y'all stay on that side? So was he talking to the media? Or was he talking to his fans? Or was he talking to the people that's watching these games? Y'all let me know y'all's take on that. But as far as what Shannon Sharpe said about the rivalry and about the dynasties, man. Nah, John, y'all not a dynasty yet. Who are y'all? What kind of dynasty do y'all have? Y'all haven't won nothing, man. You won yourself a playoff game. You won yourself a playoff series. What have you won? I mean, you almost like the big bad wolf now. So that kind of puts a little small target on your back coming into the playoffs, because y'all going to be in the playoffs, but it puts a target on your back. So y'all go from, being the 100, but y'all going to be hunted down now because cats are going to be coming at y'all. You go back and look at when Lonzo Ball first came into the league, when his father put that target on his back. Cats was going at Lonzo Ball. I feel that what this year's playoff is shaping up to be. It's a lot of teams that are not healthy right now. And right now, there's a lot of teams in the West that are taking advantage of their positioning because guys are in and out of lineups, and you're losing games that you're supposed to win because you ain't got enough healthy bodies and key players are out. So when the NBA, I always judge it after the All-Star break. After the All-Star break, that's when I say, okay, that's when you're going to separate the men from the boys. So I look at this one as right now, Memphis is set up to do something special. But when all these guys that are in the Western Conferences on these teams that get healthy, it's going to be interesting in the West. And another thing that I take out of what Shannon said about the rivalry, who you have a rival with, John? I mean, you won one playoff series, and then you played Golden State and you got bounced out. Yeah, you was hurt, but how is that going to be a rivalry? Like Shannon said, the rivalry goes back to the days of Boston and LA, Detroit and Chicago. Then he, like Draymond, alleviated to. He said the year that the Cavs and the Warriors was going to back-to-back championships playing each other from 2016 to 2018, 2019. That was a rivalry. Them NBA Finals games was a rivalry. Right now, John, y'all don't have a rival with nobody. You chirping with the Memphis Grizzlies as a group. They following your lead and they chirping right behind you. We seen the videos of y'all coming out of the tunnel. And if you ask me, y'all got that from the San Francisco 49ers when they played the Dallas Cowboys last year in the playoffs. When they came out, with the big stereo, Gremlins. Now everybody wants to do something like that. And I agree with Shannon. It's like you're a bunch of guys that are young guys over there chirping, rightfully so, man. Y'all some young studs over there. Y'all are doing y'all's thing. And Ja, like I said, is much see TV. He's doing a lot for the NBA. You know, a lot of things that come about with Ja. You know, after the game, man, he sorts out these little kids and gives them the jersey, takes pictures with them. So he's doing a lot of stuff in the community. And another thing I got to touch bases on is with that Ja Morant sneaker, his own signature sneaker. Now, my take on that is Kyrie Irving. Nike parted way with Kyrie Irving because of the situation Kyrie Irving was in the anti-Semitic tweets that he was, you know, posting, you know, just digging deep into his heritage and finding things out. And, you know, he got backlash for that. He got blackballed for that. And Nike took away the sponsorship in his deal. And that Kyrie Irving sneaker was already in production. So if you guys take a real good look at that Ja Morant sneaker, that was the Kyrie Irving sneaker in production. Take a real good look at Ja Morant's sneaker. And then look at the logo. A lot of people, speculations on the internet, that's an upside down Kobe emblem. Take a look at that. When you get a chance to look at Ja Morant's sneaker, take a look at that. But other than that, you know, Ja is special. Then I go back and look at the recent interview they had with Draymond Green on his podcast, was talking about Ja Morant. Draymond Green said it. Nah, Ja, you still got the Golden State Warriors over here. You know what I'm saying? You good, but you still got the Golden State Warriors over here. So basically what Draymond was saying is like, man, you got to show some respect. You got to pay homage to the ones that came before you. So, like I said, this is setting up to be something good in the playoffs, man. This is setting up to be something that we all want to see if that matchup comes. But the Warriors, you know, Steph Curry been hurt, just got back into the lineup last night. He struggled early, came on late, but he just couldn't pull it off. But when Golden State gets healthy, Andrew Wiggins just got back in the lineup. I mean, I look at all these teams, man. The Lakers, as much as people are, you know, shitting on the Lakers still can do something. Even though LeBron's in 20 years in, he's still out there playing basketball and he wants to win. But like everybody says, man, you need healthy bodies, man. And every year that they try to make a run ever since the bubble, Anthony Davis hasn't been healthy. And that's key. Anthony Davis gets healthy. Everybody gets back in the lineup. It's crazy. They can do some special things. But we'll never know. We won't know until Anthony Davis gets back and shows that dominance that he was playing before he got hurt. But the Lakers have been playing good ball. Like the culture has changed. Probably behind the scenes, they're building something special back there. You know, Darvin Ham, like his coaching philosophy, I don't ride with his coaching philosophy right now, but he got Russell Westbrook to buy in to what he was trying to sell Russell Westbrook before the season started by saying, hey, man, you can be a sixth man. You can come off the bench, man. You can orchestrate the troops coming off the bench and do what you got to do. You can control the ball. You can drive the ball. You can pass the ball. You can go rebound. You can start being the Russ that you always been on these other teams. And then you got a 38-year-old LeBron James still playing at a high level. And I just think that winning streak, they was on that 5-game win streak. And the night that they lost to Miami, and he came on the post conference and he said a few things about, yeah, you know, I'm not trying to, you know, be playing at this level and not winning. I think that kind of, you know, shockwaves went through the players, the coaches, the whole organization. I think they felt what LeBron was saying because them next 5 games, that team looked a little different. They was playing together. LeBron putting up big numbers. It almost looked like LeBron in the Cleveland days when LeBron was playing and you had a bunch of guys around him and they were just out there balling. So right now, them guys ain't healthy. You got Anthony Davis out. You got Austin Reeves out. You got Lonnie Walker out. And I think the Lakers, when you talk about a trade, I really don't think they just need another big, because they're not using Damian Jones. Wenyen Gabriel and Thomas Bryant, they've been playing exceptional ball. Thomas Bryant been on the tear. But the one thing about Thomas Bryant is he can't defend the bigs, though. I mean, he got to work on his defense. But other than that, I think Thomas Bryant is a great piece. So when Anthony Davis gets back, I think them two can work. That could be a big lineup. You can go with Thomas Bryant at the center, Anthony Davis at 4, LeBron at the 3. A big front line. But it's interesting. And then I look at the interview that Stephen A. was on Draymond's podcast talking about Ja Morant. I'm like, Stephen A. was like, yeah, I agree with Ja Morant. They coming. You know what I'm saying? He got Memphis picked to come out the West. And, rightfully so. I mean, Stephen A., he's up on that big platform, man. He can say what he want to say, but Ja Morant does a lot of good things for Memphis, and they're going to go as far as Ja Morant takes them. But at the same time, like Draymond said, man, we the defending champions. Yeah, it might not look like we playing well right now, but when you get in the playoffs, man, them guys are built for it, man. Playoff basketball is different from regular season basketball, man. So for all the takes that Shannon Sharpe had, I don't call it a beef with Ja Morant. He just took, exception to some of the things that Ja had to say, and he voiced his opinion. And you heard it here first. So I played the clip. So guys, y'all let me know how y'all feel about that. Post in the comments, man, how y'all feel about Ja Morant and the Memphis Grizzlies on what Ja said. He's not worried about nobody in the West. His focus is on the East. He's focused on Boston. But when you say Boston, you got to look at it like this. Brooklyn has been playing some great basketball. But unfortunately, Kevin Durant will be out a month. He got that MCL sprain. So, but Brooklyn has turned the corner. Ever since they let Steve Nash go, Jock Vaughn filled in, they playing exceptional basketball. And I just think right now the East is wide open. You always think about Philly coming in, playing, and being always up there in the upper echelon of the East, man. But it's something about Philly that just don't sit well with me, man. And then you still got the likes of Milwaukee Bucks. I know Greek Freak ain't been playing his best ball lately. I think 3 straight games, not in double digits, but he got double-digit rebounds and assists. But his scoring hasn't been there. But, the Greek Freak's going to be there. His game is going to be there when it counts. I've always said about the Greek Freak, once he got a jumper and figured it out in the NBA playoffs, he going to be tough to deal with. And it showed the year he won the championship, man. He figured it out. They got it done. But like I said with Milwaukee, I think the motor and the key piece is Chris Middleton. Chris Middleton is still hurt, hampered. He came back, from the bad knee, and now he's back out. But he's the guy that you really got to watch out for Milwaukee. He keeps it together. Yeah, Giannis is the face of it, but Chris Middleton, man, he's a baller. And then you got Drew Holiday out there, man. One of the best two-way players in the league, probably one of the best, probably top two-way players in the league, man, as a point guard. He can score and he can defend his ass off. He can defend 1 through 3. Sometimes he gets caught up in mismatches down in the paint with the bigs, but he holds his own. But as far as, the Eastern Conference, when Ja Morant made them statements about Boston, man, that's just like shitting on the rest of the league, man. Like, and them guys, they see that. And then also there was a commercial that was made. A lot of these NBA players say, hey, when I watch the television, when I watch games, I don't watch it with no sound. I don't listen to what the media says. I don't listen to what Twitter says. But apparently, Ja Morant does, because of the fact that he's heard all the chirping from the outside. He's heard what the media outlet has been saying. He's heard what Shannon Sharpe said. He's heard what Draymond Green said. He hears what they say, because at the end of the commercial, they touched on something like, I forgot what it said. I got to find that, but y'all let me know in the comments what that said at the end of that commercial, that Ja Morant commercial. But it's like he's paying attention. So a lot of guys say, hey, man, I don't look at social media, man. I don't respond to it. But I think Ja sees it all, man. So I think that's why Ja keeps chirping and saying the things that he says, because there's a lot of people in the social media world, Twitter, everything, the media outlets, man. First Take, Undisputed, Get Up, Odd Show, you know what I'm saying? They say things about the Memphis Grizzlies, you know what I'm saying? A bunch of young, brash guys that do a lot of talking, but ain't won nothing. And I think Ja's listening, and he's heard a lot of that stuff. So I think that's why Ja, had that sit down on Christmas with Malika Andrews, and he said what he had to say. But at the same time, hey, you got to back it up now. You got to put your hard hat on and your work boots, man, because when it comes to playoffs, man, they coming for you, man. So you got to back them comments up. So if you don't win the championship, man, people going to go back and look at all them videos interviews that you had and the things that you said, and you didn't get it done. And it's like, I'm like Shannon Sharpe, man. If Steph Curry would have said something like that, I had no problem with it. LeBron would have said something like that, I have no problem with it. KD would have said something like that, I have no problem with it. But for a guy that's saying things the way he's saying it and ain't won nothing, and you only want a playoff series, I don't know. Y'all guys let me know. Y'all let me know in the comments. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about what Ja Morant said. But, hey, all respect to Ja Morant. Like I said, he's must-see TV. And the guys that know Big Perk and follow him on Twitter and listen to him on NBA Countdown and things like that, he gives Ja his kudos. Ja said he's ducking no smoke. Rightfully so. He's not ducking no smoke. He said he want all the smoke. He said he climbing up over everybody that gets in his way. But at the same time, man, you got some things you got to lean back on. You got to peel back, because now you got a target on your back. So hopefully you can back up everything that you're saying when you get in the playoffs, man, because if you don't win the championship, and for you to utter words like that, because teams are only getting better. Once you get your healthy bodies back and you get your whole team together, a lot of things can happen. A lot of things can change, man. But, kudos to Ja Morant, man. But it's a lot of stuff that's, going around in the NBA, a lot of stuff in the NFL. And another thing I'll touch on before I get up out of here is the situation that happened on Monday night with DeMar Hamlin. And you heard the comments from Skip Bayless. And then he tried to lean back on some of the things he said. And then Shannon Sharpe was absent on Undisputed the next day. Then the next day, Shannon Sharpe came on. He was trying to open his monologue. Skip cut him off because he said, I just wish Skip would take the tweet down. Skip was like, no, I'm not taking the tweet down. I stand on what I said. And nobody at this network had a problem with it. Oh, man, you caught yourself in your own lie, Skip, because the day before you was on the show by yourself and you was talking about, the boss called and said, I had some explaining to do because everybody took exception to the tweet. And then you say nobody at the network had a problem with the tweet. So when Shannon pointed that out, Skip really got mad. And then you go and look what Michael Strahan said. Michael Strahan said it's a lie. You know what I'm saying? Talking about nobody had a problem at the network with what you said. Man, at a time like that, the insensitive of what you did was uncalled for. You cannot use but and irrelevant in a same sentence in that tweet that you used when that young man was fighting for his life. And kudos to everybody that was covering it. Ryan Clark and Scott Van Pelt, they put on a masterclass on SportsCenter the night that it happened, talking about it. And then for me to listen to what Jason Whitlock said about what Ryan Clark and Scott Van Pelt displayed that night, was talking about they was reaching, like all up in their feelings for what? Like that's disingenuous as well. Like Jason Whitlock, I never really, liked dude. Dude says a lot of stuff, and it's just not right, man. And no wonder, Fox got rid of him. You know what I'm saying? He's controversial. Like he says stuff that you shouldn't say, man. It's like he's a coon. But hey, it is what it is, man. And prayers for DeMar Hamlin on a speedy recovery. He's been released out of the hospital. He's back at his home doing rehab, still meeting with the doctors. Like I said, he left out of Cincinnati, was there for 3 or 4 days, got moved to back home in Buffalo. All the tests checked out. They released him from that. He's back at home. The day before the game, the Bills played. He was on FaceTime, and I'm like, man, this young kid persevered. You know what I'm saying? He fought for his life in a situation like that. Only God, man, pulled him through, and he still got a long way to go, but prayers to him and his family. But there's a lot of people that covered that whole situation, and they made a lot of sense. And for guys to come out and tweet and speak about it, the bad things that they were saying about the guys that were speaking about it, I just don't understand, man. I mean, we live in a cruel world, man. And the only way we're going to get through it is by prayer. You know what I'm saying? We gotta pray for one another, man. We got to stand strong, man. And for somebody to speak on a situation like that, and for somebody else to tear them down because of their beliefs on the situation that happened when somebody's fighting for their life, laying out there helpless. And when you got to do CPR on the field and, revive somebody to get that heartbeat back. And then you got people that go straight to Twitter, and people read that stuff and then they try to take it down, but people already screenshot it, pass it on. The internet is undefeated, and it goes a long way. So kudos to everybody that had a heartfelt message for DeMar Hamlin. Prayers to his family, and we wish you nothing but the best. But, NFL playoff weekends coming up. We got the Vikings versus the Giants. Monday night, we got Tampa Bay and the Cowboys. You got San Francisco and Seattle. It's going to be some tough games, man. Like the playoffs, I don't care if you're at home or on the road. Playoffs are a tough place to play, wherever you're at, home or away. So these teams that made it into the playoffs, man, big ups to you guys, man. But I look at one of the teams that people got to avoid. San Francisco is a scary team. San Francisco is a scary team. When I first looked at it, I looked at Philadelphia as the best team in the NFL when they was winning. But I think the 2 weeks when Jalen Hurts was out, it exposed a lot of things. Yeah, Gardner Minshew put up big numbers against the Cowboys, kept them in the game, had a chance to win the game, but they didn't come away with the win. And the defense played bad against Dallas. And I tell people that goes to the fact that certain situations, I don't think Jalen Hurts would have had the Eagles defense on the field as much as Gardner Minshew had them on the field. Even though the Eagles was scoring, that defense was out there a lot. Situational football. situational football. And I think if Jalen Hurts was healthy and he was playing against the Cowboys, the Eagles would have beat the Cowboys because it's been a different situation, different play calling, and controlling the game a little bit better. And I don't think it would have been a high-scoring game the way it panned out to be. And then I look at, Minnesota. That's my team. I've always told people we're one of them teams that I don't know how we get it done. We get it done, but we're missing something. But we're one of them teams where people look up and say, man, how the hell did they get here? And I want to keep it that way. So, we beat the Giants on Sunday. What are they going to say? We're moving on to another game. And then the thing about it is the next game we play, whoever we play, we're going to be underdogs in that game. And if we win that game, then you're going to look up and be like, man, how the hell did they get here? We've been winning crazy all year long. But that goes to show you gotta play all 4 quarters. And my father always told me when I played football, you play to win. You play not to lose. You know what I'm saying? A lot of teams don't go out there, play to win. They take the foot off the gas, and then they find themselves in situations that now it's a tough game. But at the same time, man, it's going to be a big weekend for the NFL. Playoff football, I know everybody's excited. But like I said, man, on this podcast, we don't only talk about sports, man. We talk about hot topics. We got our round table talk. We talk about marriages. We talk about relationships. We talk about divorces. We talk about it all. So this was just one of those episodes that I wanted to come on and talk about the Ja Morant situation, on some of the things that he's been saying, some of the media outlet that's picked it up and has talked about it. I just felt that I just wanted to come on the mic and talk about it because a lot of people was hitting me up, asking me for my perspective. And, a lot of times, I don't do shows like this. You know what I'm saying? I have my co-host when we talk sports, but I thought, a lot of people wanted to hear from the man behind the mic. So I said, man, I'll come on and I'll give y'all my take. So y'all let me know in the comments, man, how y'all feel. And like I said, when y'all look at the video, if you're looking at the video right now, give it a thumbs up, like it. It only helps the channel grow. So if I can get my channel to grow, get up in this YouTube algorithm, man, we'll be good to go. So just guys, let me know what y'all think. And 2023, this is the year of Simply Ball Dropping, and we're going to get it popping. So I appreciate you guys' time. And like I said, please tune in to all my shows. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. We got the merchandise. It's a lot of things that we doing over here at Simply Ball Dropping, man. Just help the channel grow. That's all I ask, man. It don't cost nothing to, to give the video a thumbs up. So y'all guys just let me know, man. And I appreciate everybody's time. And once again, man, it's going to wrap up another episode of the Simply Ball Dropping podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K-Sap. And like I always say, man, we going to catch y'all on the next one. Deuces.
Thanks for listening to the Simply Ball Dropping podcast. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share on all major platforms.